And first of all, we'll have to take roll of present members because we have Malcolm and Stephen online. Everyone else is present here. Let's do a minute taker for this meeting first, and then we'll do roll call. I don't know. Just seems logical to me right now. Are you good?
I'm good. Back in action. Yeah.
We love you so much. Thank you for your service.
Yes.
So with that, Stephen and then Malcolm, you want to start by saying your name and
Stephen Fellows.
Malcolm Brown.
good. And we don't have anyone else online, do we?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
That makes me feel weird. And so then we'll go with you,
So Jim Lawson.
Jim Lawson,
Christopher Smith.
Andrew Coffins.
Matthias Dean Carpenter.
Matt Davis.
Steve Holmgren.
Harrison Potter.
Great. Great to have you here for your first official meeting, Harrison.
Glad to be.
So we have Ellie who will be telling us about the agrivoltaics policy in a little bit. Is there anything else on the agenda that anyone wants to add or I have overlooked? No?
Looks good to me. Looks good.
Okay, good. So with that, I scanned both the minutes. Didn't really go too deep into them. I know we discussed some edits on the March one, and I saw you said you included those, so that's great. I went over Malcolm's April minutes. They looked good to me. Brevity is the soul of wit. Does anyone have anything to add to April, hopefully not March minutes?
The only thing with April is my name isn't on the attendance list.
That's an important thing to add.
I'm sorry, I can't see who said that. Can you just give me?
That was Christopher Malcolm.
Christopher.
Smith.
Sorry.
All right. Got it, captured it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I have one change that I'll send in. I couldn't look at them until late. So on the second page, there's council updates. And the first one says an ordinance for EV chargers passed unanimously. Actually, it was the vote for first reading on the EV ordinance passed unanimously.
That's a good clarification.
Did you say first reading, R-E-A-D-I-N-G?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you have one? Unless you had anything else.
No.
Did you have one, Steve?
I submitted one to Malcolm. There was just a correction to the CPC&H.
Yeah, if you received the draft number 2 that I sent around this afternoon, I incorporated those 2 additions.
Right, thank you.
Awesome, great. Well, I'm willing to approve those changes.
I have
Great.
a couple notes.
Okay.
On the car idling, signs are currently posted around Durham, not around the Durham schools.
Okay.
And also under council updates, item number 2, I think Steve Holmgren was reappointed, not me.
That makes more sense.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I can't see who's speaking. So is this number 2 on the council updates?
Yes,
And who's, I'll cross Steve and who should I put in?
It's Steve.
Steve Holmgren.
Yeah.
Not Steve Fellows.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, thanks to both of you for doing that. For edits, should probably, to minutes, should probably send them around again and CC Karen, but only for informational purposes, as long as we're all willing to approve both of these months' minutes. I'm just going to ask if there's any dissent. Okay, great. So I think technically we have to roll call vote this. Can we start with Malcolm Brown?
I'm sorry, I was typing. Sorry, say it again, sorry.
I called for a vote to approve these minutes, and
Oh, okay.
I also didn't take a second, but
Okay,
Second.
sorry. Aye.
thank you. Stephen,
Aye.
Jim Lawson, aye.
Aye.
say your name.
Oh, Christopher Smith.
Christopher Line.
Aye.
Andrew Coppins, aye.
Matthias Dean Carpenter, aye.
Matt Davis, aye.
Steve Holmgren, aye.
Harrison Potter, aye.
Great. So we've approved both those months of minutes. Without structure, we all become barbarians or something. So with that, unless anyone has anything else, I'm just going to move on to the administrative items, and Ellie's the only person in attendance from the public to speak. If that's good with everyone else?
No.
Great. Come on, Ellie. You can sit at the desk or the podium. Both should be live. The voice in the sky will tell us if it's not.
That's okay. Hi, everyone. So my
I'm
name
going to
is...
go grab stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Ellie, and I'm a master's student at UNH. This is my first year here, and I'm very thankful to all of you for giving me the opportunity to be here today and talk to you. So as my position here is fully funded, I'm doing a research assistantship for both the 2 years of my degree. So I work at a research lab here at UNH in the Department of Natural Resources and the Environment. And what we do is we study innovative technologies for policies for clean energy and environmental sustainability. We focus on questions like how are new technologies adopted, what barriers and opportunities shape that adoption, and how can policy accelerate the deployment of innovative solutions that serve the public interest. And right now, one innovative technology we're especially excited about is agrivoltaics, which is the integration of solar panels into agricultural land. Traditionally, renewable energy and agriculture were seen as competitors for one scarce source, and that's land. But agrivoltaics changes that. Instead of competition, we get synergy, so two systems sharing the same space and producing a shared set of benefits. Across the United States, but also around the world, agrivoltaics are delivering green, clean energy, improving crop yields through better shading and water efficiency, providing farmers with additional income and strengthening the resilience of rural communities. This is particularly important in states that produce little food or clean energy, and New Hampshire is one of them. So what we're doing is we're launching a pilot project to study the feasibility of agrivoltaics in New Hampshire and to understand the conditions under which this technology can best serve local communities. So the first step for this project is to engage with key stakeholders, listen to them, learn from them, and understand their perceptions, preferences, and concerns. We want to identify barriers to adoption and work with policymakers to explore how those barriers can be overcome. So this initial part of my project is me interviewing people, stakeholders. So I'm interviewing some loan lenders, solar developers, and members of agricultural and energy committees from towns around New Hampshire. I've already started. I've done 2 interviews with solar developers. And what I'm trying to assess on these 2 years of my project is the financial feasibility of agrivoltaics for New Hampshire. So I'm using these interviews to understand the perceived risks, barriers, how some things work, what policies exist or not. So then I can use this information to develop an optimization model that's gonna be my financial feasibility analysis for this technology around the state of New Hampshire. So I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. And if anyone is interested in participating in one of my interviews, that would be very, very important to me and my work. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, let me know.
And I had a question. Is UNH, do you know, is UNH planning to be potentially a participant as either a landowner or a participant in a trial?
I don't think so. I haven't found anyone from inside UNH who will want to participate until now. I cannot say for sure. There's another, like a PhD student also working on this, so we have kind of like split the stakeholders. So I can talk for myself and for the people that I've been talking with and engaging with, and I haven't found someone from UNH to speak as a landowner.
How do the finances work around the infrastructure? So, for example, does a landowner or a farmer, do they buy the panels? Do they lease a portion of their plot and let somebody else do the sort of infrastructure capital?
From the two interviews that I've had, and from
Yeah.
what I understand until as of now, I'm very new to this, so I'll try to answer your question in the best way possible. So, from what I understand is the farmers you can either grow crops or do sheep grazing. I think sheep grazing is more popular around this area. So farmers continue to do their work, and solar developers come in and install solar panels as they would if you would convert the land to only a solar panel land. So it's just, instead of like just the solar developers coming in and installing the solar panels, they work together with the farmers so they can preserve the farmland. And keep growing crops or do the sheep grazing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I was one of the people she raised, which is per acre yearly lease.
Yeah.
In some situations, if it's the farmer who owns the land, because like a lot of farmland is tenant farmed out anyway, if it's the farmer who owns the land and is interested in producing a crop, like in the few cases where this has happened, where often berry farmers or mushroom farmers who can grow underneath the panels, they get less dollars per acre for the ability to continue to farm it. Yeah, but they, instead of $1,000, it's $900, that kind of thing. And the math usually works out well in their favor because a lot of the agrivoltaic crops that people do use are usually high dollar, low yield crops. So the panels tend to protect them and make the yields just a little bit better.
A little bit like non-commodity kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think you said it's about a 45-minute interview.
Yeah, it is a 30 to 45-minute interview. There is a formal questionnaire that we're following, which I share with you during the interview, and there's a consent form and a survey that you need to take. I think it doesn't take more than 5 minutes.
And they pretty much don't list any intent to distribute your personal information in any way. It's mostly just, here's where we're going to hold the data and here's what we're going to use it for, and if it ends up in a paper, your name, isn't
it
gonna be
would
a
never
part of it.
appear. No identifiable information would be up there. It would be there anonymously or other like pseudonyms. The interview is being recorded. Everything is fully approved by the IRB from UNH. And we record the interview the moment that it's being conducted, and then the recording is being uploaded to a file that the whole team has access, but it's a password protected file, so only the research teams of this, the research members of this team can access it.
And while I was gone, did you list the different types of people you're looking to get information from?
What?
Like you listed people like me, and then
Oh.
like community members and
Yeah,
farmers and a
it's
couple other things.
For me, it's loan lenders, solar developers, and agriculture and energy committee members. So I interviewed you as a solar developer.
Who were not also biased by the industry.
Do I need to know a ton about agrivoltaics?
No, I think what Ellie's looking for is a wide variety of opinions. And so, you know, from what I recall of the questions, you fall into a opinion and knowledge category that might be hard for her to find.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned somebody in Lee. Is that by chance Tuckaway Farms? Do you recall?
Can you repeat that?
You mentioned you're going to be interviewing somebody in Lee.
Yeah, in Lee. I don't know who is gonna participate yet. I went to the committee down there. I talked with them. I'm waiting for them to provide
member of the Energy
person.
Committee?
Yeah. No, from the agricultural committee.
Yeah.
I would like to. I'll send it to Matthias, but I think that there is an excellent person to interview in Lee. He's a full-time. It's a full-time farm. He has his PhD, does a lot of research, and I think he would be an excellent.
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Tuckaway.
They'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuckaway is a good one, and I'll be talking about it a little bit more when we go over the Energy Week events, but Flag Hill Winery has done a bit with solar and their winery, and in my experience developing, wineries can be kind of difficult to do agrivoltaics with because the vines are often old and also very sensitive to changes in things in the ground. They're in the New Hampshire Energy Week bulletin, so I think they might be interested in talking to you, and that's a pretty, it's not a big array, but it is active agrivoltaics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could share their contact information,
Yeah.
I will reach out to them definitely.
You'll see me, Jim, on yours?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, so
Okay.
then I'll add mine when I forward it along.
I also think that one of the challenges to agrivoltaics is going to be, particularly in New Hampshire and Vermont sometimes, is people put so much value on the view shed and the farms. And so their solar ordinance, because in fact I don't think it has any barriers to agrivoltaics other than some reasonable setbacks from the road. But it would be interesting to start thinking about that, because if somebody wants to move forward with it, even a pilot, you wouldn't want to have an obstacle that, they have to wait, 8 months for the, town to change some zoning or something.
Yeah, and I've built in a lot larger and more robust solar markets, like especially New York State, which has a lot of agriculture, and you can run into certain jurisdictions where their solar ordinance is specifically banning solar in their agriculturally zoned areas, and they'll single it out. And in some cases, they would rather you cut down trees on privately owned forest than to actually dig into the agriculture. And that's because of people doing dumb stuff in solar development, at this point almost 10 years ago, but it leaves a really sour taste in people's mouths. And I haven't, usually zoning and planning ordinances, depending on the state and the jurisdiction, they're mostly worried about not allowing things instead of explicitly stating what they want to see and where they want to see it, which leaves people like me guessing and sometimes walking into a town with the completely wrong idea. So that's a very good point. Especially yeah, I mean, New Hampshire has very limited agricultural space. So much of the state is forested, and like that's a great thing. But New Hampshire has largely been avoided by solar developers because the policy is not great and there isn't much space. So it becomes much more obvious when you do stuff. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. This was supposed to be about Ellie.
Where's the interest and demand coming from? Is it farmers who want to do this for income? Is it solar developers who are looking for additional?
Oh, you might need to
sites?
outline your program a little bit more.
Yeah,
Because
So,
she was recruited for this.
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so from what I get, people in New Hampshire are not the biggest fan of all this.
Okay.
So why my advisor was interested in this and he got funding to do it is because he's a huge fan and we support renewable energy and ways to like implement it in our everyday lives and make our lives depend more on renewables rather than fossil fuels or like nuclear. But the thing is that look into food production don't like about renewables is that you have to give up your land, and we need this land for food. So my advisor was looking really into like what he could research on that would help New Hampshire, and because as I said before, New Hampshire has not good enough food production, but not even like good dependence on renewables, he thought it would be like a very interesting topic to look into, because if we can actually provide some like beneficial results that they show that it can work in New Hampshire and it would help the profitability of farms around here, then maybe on another like level after I'm gone, unfortunately, they can like push a bit more forward to that, take it maybe to a state level and maybe even actually do a project like that. Right now it's a theoretical part.
So they're trying to figure out what policy would
Yeah.
make sense and
Yeah.
be something people voted for in the state. Because like you can say, let's do an agrivoltaics bill, but like the way that is created is complicated.
And it's also different states have different policies, so it's more popular in other states, and states are moving toward like implementing policies to support agrivoltaics. But if you look at different states, you can find completely different policies and incentives. So we just like, I will like maybe implement some of these policies to the model and see what policy would work for New Hampshire based on the data that I will gather from my interviews.
For example, Massachusetts, it gives you either 2 or 4 cents per watt of solar that you install in an agrivoltaic array where like a true dual use is happening.
Above
So
and
like when you build it, they look at how many watts you build and give you either 2 or 4 cents. I can't remember which one it is.
above and
for-
beyond the production.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
that's
That's
Just-
an incentive.
Yeah, just
it's not watt hours, it is
installing it.
installed
Yes.
watts.
And I think Illinois
Or maybe
is-
it's watt hours. Either way, it's ridiculous.
And Illinois is like prioritizing agrivoltaics projects instead of like just solar projects. So when they're looking to who they're going to give out their incentives, they prioritize agrivoltaics projects. And New Jersey and New York are trying to implement new policies, but I've heard that Illinois and Washington have one of the like strongest
Yeah.
incentive programs for agrivoltaics.
Yeah, everything we're doing in Illinois, we like have to prove that we have the sheep ready
Yeah.
to graze on it.
Well, I'd really recommend that you come up with some sort of successful case examples that aren't dependent on state incentives, which is very unlikely in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Right now, she's just trying to get through the opinion survey.
Fair enough. Yeah. But,
This is my first step.
yeah, it's great. I mean, but
Graduate
but coming to a
research is so
policy
slow.
conversation saying like this has worked here, very
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And part of like the interviews is also helping me because I just moved here.
Sure.
So I know nothing about New Hampshire. So this is also very helpful. Very helpful for me because it's also a way for me to get to know how things are working here because they definitely like work differently than how things work back home for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just, yeah, it's a good thing about the interviews. If I didn't have them, then I would be completely like lost.
Yeah.
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 So do you have like a sign-up link schedule or something online?
No, I have written down my contact information. I can leave it here. So after you're done with your
Yeah.
actual energy topics,
And you can also send some version of that summary email you sent me
Yes,
to
I
the
have
Energy
that.
Committee email.
yeah, I could definitely do that.
Yeah, like the general email for the whole committee will go to all of us.
Yeah. Is the energy committee email? Can I find it like on the website?
Yeah, just go to the Energy Committee page on the website and it'll be on the side to the right.
Okay, yeah, well, definitely. I have like an intro email about how the interviews are conducted, so I can definitely send it out there, so you can all,
Cool.
yeah, see.
And that way, if anyone wants to respond, that way you don't have to raise your hand here and say, I will do this and what have you.
One of the things that I think you're going to find is interesting about New Hampshire is, I agree with Andrew, you're not going to get financial incentives, but
No.
at the state level and state laws, it's very protective of agriculture to the point where it even preempts local control. So I might have an ordinance about what I can do down at the water or near the water, and the state will say, you can do that, but they'll say you can do it so long as it doesn't impact agriculture. So there are policies and a predisposition in the state that really does support agriculture. And I think that's something that you'll see is very unique about New Hampshire.
People in Canterbury also mentioned town zoning. Is that what you call it? So they said it's very interesting that like they have. So you've probably been to Canterbury. I went last week. So I went to their like town hall, and there it's supposed to be like historic buildings and a historic area. So they put solar there without actually, if I get it correctly, like without actually getting approval. So I said to also look into town zoning, because some people have the power to overcome these problems, but others don't. So they just went out there and put some solar panels without actually asking.
Yeah, there's
I'll leave this off the minutes.
there's two types of government in New Hampshire on a local level, and they're all based on town borders. So in other states, you can have a house in an area that isn't within the jurisdiction of any town or city, but in New Hampshire, like they all touch each other. And in one of those types of governance, whatever the opposite of the council government we have here is, the town officials can make unilateral decisions like that, kind of regardless of zoning. So the way zoning is dealt with throughout New Hampshire is like extremely variable. You know, there was a couple towns famously in New Hampshire that were essentially because of lax zoning laws, like what was it, Grafton, the Bears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Famous book about that.
Yeah. So like you'll find there's some towns that are extremely strict and some that are like, if you want to build a rocket ship in your backyard, that's fine. It'll be interesting to see how those different areas view agrivoltaics. Because I've walked into towns with zero zoning, but all of a sudden they really care about zoning when it comes to solar. Cool.
The last
Yep.
thing I was thinking is, when we were working on a solar ordinance in Durham, the agricultural committee was actually very supportive of it because of the idea of agrivoltaics, and we talked about some of the work that was being done down at UMass. I say that because it might be worthwhile to have a conversation with somebody like Dr. Carroll or another person on the agriculture committee.
I talked with the agricultural committee. I've actually been here before
Okay.
talking with them, so I have some connections with the agricultural
Good.
committee. They were really interested.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also Ellie's second time here, and I think we also told her to talk to the ag committee, which is great.
You can tell I'm the new guy, so.
He's deeply experienced in the town, just hasn't been on the energy committee yet. Your PhD or your master's?
No, my master's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Grad
a
school
two-year
is grad school.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So, as far as like, you said for financial feasibility, first, just a clarifying thing, because we talked about like towns and state a little bit in there. So, are you mostly focused on like the financial feasibility per town or like New Hampshire?
No, for the New Hampshire
Okay.
state. Yeah.
How to make people like me
I would be like very interested in doing this like by town, but in the 2 years that I have here, and if you just imagine that like this is almost the first year,
It's a lot of work.
Over, it wouldn't be feasible to do it.
Yeah.
And the project is supposed to last 3 years. I'm just gonna be contributing for 2 of them because of my master's. So I couldn't actually do something that's more like extensive than that because in a time frame it wouldn't fit with taking courses and
For sure.
Right.
You can do
Okay.
agrivoltaic policy without interfering with local town zoning. It's just an additional restriction.
I don't know. I'm so new to town things, and it's like, aren't you mostly wrestling with towns ordinance and zoning and stuff?
Yeah, but
you know what I
state law
mean?
trumps town.
Okay. In New Hampshire, they'll step on you.
Generally
Stuff.
speaking, with
Okay.
certain specific exemptions that
Especially
are in
with
the
solar
state
panels and stuff.
constitution. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
there's lawyers for this. Eventually.
Okay.
With solar, I think that the state generally sets limits on size and sets regulatory policy, but
Right,
in the
like
state-
group net metering is the only way to do community solar. That's based on a state law, and the amount of money that CPCNH and companies like mine get for the power they generated is set by state law, for
Good.
example.
But the state has generally left it to towns to decide in their zoning where they allow certain types of solar, and actually the towns, unless something's changed that I'm not aware of, can actually set their different limits so long as it doesn't exceed the limits of the state.
Yeah.
Which is why people like me get paid to go to planning boards and stuff and argue for why a project we want to build nearby should be okay with them, and you know.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, what are even, I don't know if we have time for this, but I'm also curious about like negatives.
There are some negatives, but the whole point is that the benefits are like more than the negatives, more than the drawbacks. So it's like sometimes the crop yield might be reduced, but it really depends on the climate, so on the like part of the country or like the world that you're investigating, because like on very dry climates, it even helps with the crop yield because it provides shading, while like in places like Durham and like New Hampshire in general, it will reduce the crop yield, but only a little bit, to a point that the energy, the compensation from like net metering overcomes, like the profit is greater because of the net metering policy.
Yeah. Okay.
Another problem, it's the initial, like the installation cost, it's more expensive, so you need like a greater investment at first, and that's why more people are like scared or afraid of this technology. Then it's mainly aesthetics.
Yeah, and
Apart
then
from these two, it's
perception,
aesthetics.
human resistance to
Yeah.
a new thing showing up in their neighborhood that they've never seen before. Politics, all sorts of things all get added into policy.
I also listen like to a very interesting perception of this. So somebody working on a loan lender working in a company, he said that an actual problem would be, for New Hampshire at least, the average age of a farmer because it's like around 60s. So it would be easier for him to like retire. So they see like lending their land to solar developers to put solar panels is like sort of their retirement plan, because they keep getting like compensated for the energy being generated in their land because they own the land, but they don't actually need to do anything. So they can like stop farming and all the like the agricultural stuff. So they're retiring but still getting money from the land. So for them, it would be like an extra effort to keep the land and keep farming while having the electricity and everything installed and having to work through all these when they can just lease their land to solar developers.
Yeah, our farming population is generally old. I've leased farming land for solar from dozens of farmers over the years, and I can think of one instance where they were under 60 years old. So pretty much every time they agreed to sign up, it was so their kids who weren't very interested in farming at the moment could keep the land and the opportunity that maybe their 50 head of cattle is no longer profitable to run. And soil has been getting worse and worse. So as much as I would like to continue down this particular path, we do aim to end this meeting at 8:30, and we have a number of things to get through. So, so with that, unless you have anything else.
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me.
We look forward to your email, and
Yeah.
Jim and I will send over a couple more leads. If any of you guys have any that you think of, even just people you know who fall in the categories that she'll lay out in her email, feel free to move it on. More data is better.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
both your time and
Thanks.
your interest. It
Thank
was
you,
really
Ellie.
nice meeting you all.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Feel free to keep hanging out, or feel free to leave.
Okay.
You're probably
I think
You know the right
I
answer.
can understand most of the things that you'll keep saying.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Have a great night.
Have a good one. Thank you, Ellie. So the next thing I have is, looks like now we have the ability to have a vice chair instead of a secretary. Like I laid out in the last meeting, I kind of am thinking of it more as co-chairs. And so really just like the vice chair would be the one who is doing chairs, who has been doing chair stuff for less often, right? You know, since the general idea is having two chairs allows people to kind of swap in and out a little bit easier, cover for each other, all those good things.
Yeah, just to be clear,
Yeah, go ahead.
the way I wrote the resolution, which did pass last night, is it's exactly as you're saying. You have we have the flexibility of having a vice chair or not. And then we have the flexibility year to year, even shorter periods of time, in terms of defining what the vice chair does. So it was set up to be really flexible, really adaptable, changeable over time, and it's designed to, even though it's called vice chair, the person can function as a co-chair.
A little bit of background, Harrison. This came about because when did I join the Energy Committee? Well, I haven't always been super good at this or super organized. Recently we had Mike Klein, who just resigned, take over as chair. And then his work life changed drastically and he couldn't do it anymore. And you know, it kind of happened that he had filled in for me a couple times, I had filled in for him a couple times, it just kind of made sense to have two people in a chair-like role. And the way the Energy Committee was established through resolution was that there was just a chair and a secretary. So we made this change and the town council didn't have a problem with it. And I'm expecting a child at the end of the summer, so I'm not going to be able to do it, but nobody else wants to do it right now. So the thought being, because we've had a lot of people cycle in and out recently, this way, maybe two people who don't have as much experience can still feel confident working together to take over the chair role. When I don't know if I will be able to continue on the Energy Committee at all much. I know I won't be able to chair, at least for a couple months. So because I have to play that by ear, it made sense to do it this way.
Got it.
Any other thoughts on that?
So, did we have a nomination for vice chair, or was there a volunteer last time? I thought there was.
Yeah, this would be the moment if anyone wanted to nominate anyone. It's also not a necessity. We don't have to have a vice chair at any given moment.
Okay.
But if anyone has thoughts on that subject, that this would be the time to talk about it. It's going to stay on the agenda,
Okay.
for the next few months anyway. So, yeah, cool. So with that, welcome, Harrison. Glad to have you here.
Appreciate
You
it.
want to tell us a little bit about yourself and?
Last name is Potter. I moved to Durham with my wife 2 years ago now. My background is in K-12 science education, but I work in tech now, and so kind of always was wanted to sort of get back to some of the science roots and get involved. So
That's great. Steve, it was Steve. You were the one who went to the elementary school to teach them about solar earlier this year.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to continue doing little educational modules with the schools. So it'll be great to have your at least viewpoint on that.
yeah, happy to.
Yeah, no, that was great. And, I mean, that was an overture from the school teacher to us that started that, and he wanted somebody to come and talk about community power or renewable power options in Durham, that sort of thing. So,
And one of our main goal activities is twice a year there's a group at UNH that has like energy and sustainability related capstone projects. So they're always asking for project outlines and stuff that students might be able to pick.
Got it.
Just a few of our educational related efforts, because like 2.5 of our goals are about that. And then I'll be expecting Dylan to come see us. So I don't believe he's been to an energy committee meeting yet for the June meeting. So
Okay.
I think that'll be a full roster.
Yeah, because Mike's still on the roster, right?
Dylan was told initially he wasn't allowed to join, and Mike's resignation gives him a spot.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. So with that, we're actually talking about business. The first thing on my list is the draft resolution for C-Pacer that Todd put together. I listened to the webinar on the paperwork, and it sounds like Todd and Karen and company are willing to participate in that. The financial risk being largely in between the builder, the commercial builder, and a private financing entity really just means that this is an incentive for people to develop here and have a, as long as they don't build something that isn't inefficient energy-wise, they have to, you know, ascribe to a pretty good building standard. So I personally think that we should sponsor the resolution. I don't really see a downside. It's only additive to any other benefits a developer might realize here. I assume you haven't been a part of all of the C-Pacer discussion, Harrison, and we can clarify things for you in a moment. But I'm wondering if anyone has any issues with us sponsoring the town having a C-Pacer resolution.
So I just want to add a few things and then
Thank you.
give you a roadmap if you want to move forward with it. So first off, I agree that the webinar was excellent. I got onto that webinar being somewhat skeptical of C-Pacer, very
Same.
concerned that it would be potential overhead issues. I wasn't even clear that the town does not collect the assessment. That's between the lender and the developer. And I don't want to speak for Todd because we only spoke briefly about it, but I think we were both encouraged by the fact that it really, as you said, didn't pose a lot of overhead on the town. And the Business Finance Authority really has put together a tremendous document library that's going to help us. So the draft resolution, I can't believe how quickly and completely Todd puts these together. I read through it and just verified that it conforms to the requirements of RSA 58F, and I think it does. But if we're satisfied with it, I think it needs to go to the lawyer at the New Hampshire Municipal Association just to make sure that we've got everything covered. But we will, to move this forward, I will draft a council communication about C-Pacer and how it's implemented, and that's is non-trivial. It's good that I have the document library, but the council communication kind of becomes the record for the resolution. So it'll take me probably a month to get something finalized that I can bring forward to the council, and then they'll have to schedule a public hearing on it. But I think we're well on the way to doing this if we want to sponsor it. But from my standpoint, I'm 100% behind it, and I think it, particularly with things happening on the West Edge, things happening potentially over time on Main Street, 66 Main Street. I think that this program will be of interest to developers along to existing property owners. So I'm very much in favor of moving forward. And sorry for talking so much, but actually,
Thank you.
That is
Yeah.
why.
Thanks for the work too.
That's why we like having a rep. So you know what you're talking about.
50% of the time.
50% of the time it works every time.
Pretty good.
So, but if that's the consensus, then I will start working on that council communication, get feedback from you all, and maybe at the next meeting, and if it's good to go, then, get it on the agenda and present it to the council.
So we'll review what you write up next meeting, you think?
Yeah, I think review would be
Yeah,
good.
so good. It doesn't make sense to have a resolution, a vote now on our part.
No, you can vote that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
we're
we-
moving forward to it. This
that
is
we
just
support it. So
logistics.
the statement here is that, we've considered the benefits of the town adopting it and voted
Oh, right.
for the Durham Council to do so.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I think we're
It's
in a
a
position to.
non-dependent thing, yeah.
So we're not reviewing it for the legal or the
Yeah,
administrative.
exactly. Okay, cool.
You're reviewing it because I write like an engineer, and
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to make a motion to move this forward with the endorsement of the Durham Energy
I
Committee.
think the discussion phase is still a little open. I don't know
Well,
if
a motion,
anyone...
then we can discuss the motion.
Oh, I don't know if anyone has any questions about what C-Pacer is.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Remember I said,
But I thought if we had a motion, then we could discuss the motion.
oh,
it would be really helpful for me if at the next council meeting, what I'd like to do is spend a couple of minutes talking about C-Pacer.
uh-huh.
And for me to say to the council that we've discussed it and endorsed moving forward with it.
Right.
It's a good step, and so they know what's coming. And
Right.
it kind of lets me know if there's any questions or concerns in advance. I don't anticipate not moving forward with this, but, it's just going to, take some time.
I just sensed that I had cut off Christopher a couple times,
Oh,
so I wanted to give him a
sure.
chance.
Just for clarification, so from everything that I've gathered, all that's happening is there's a pool of private entities that if some developer comes in, or I don't know, somebody for some reason, maybe it's not a developer.
It might
maybe
be a
it is.
business owner wanting to remodel downtown.
Yeah, somebody wants a loan, and so we look at a pool of entities, whether they're in.
No, I mean, I think
If we're
C-Pacer
not
is
doing
a,
that, then I'm confused of what C-Pacer is and what do we mean by sponsor? Yeah, sorry.
You want to take it? You can.
try.
Or at least your understanding.
So C-Pacer is a financing vehicle for property owners to finance projects, and has several advantages rather than going just to a bank.
Okay.
And so it doesn't, the applicants can be nonprofits, but it's a property owner who has a tax liability, and the payment of that loan is then tied to the property, so that if they sell the property, that financing continues with the property and is not held by the property owner.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a lien, essentially.
It's a lien that isn't technically a lien, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's advantageous because there's a significant amount of capital that's available for these projects that through just private financing. And by providing this construct, that it connects the need with that available capital.
Yeah,
So
and it's
since
not-
the
it's-
town is the property tax administrator, that's essentially
Right, that's our role.
where the town gets involved. Really, it's a one-on-one deal that is overseen by the town, and they just make sure it is in compliance with the tax situation in the town, and that,
We're complying with state laws.
yeah, that everything is within state laws, and that essentially the agreement between the two parties isn't counterproductive to the way the town would be. Because it is for larger builds, it's not like someone could go to one of these private entities and convince them that they want to build a 20-story skyscraper on Main Street, because the moment they got to the assessment phase and it came through the town, it would be all the red flags for zoning. So essentially, for towns, it's advantageous because it is
It sounds like just like another tool for like developing on a private property, you were saying?
Yeah.
with
So the
green-
advantage for the town is that if you're a town that sponsors it, you are more attractive than a town that doesn't have a CE-PACER sponsorship, because those private entities cannot operate in those areas that aren't sponsoring it.
So I think it's lowering a barrier for property owners to do things because it provides them with another financing.
It reduces
Okay.
uncertainty for them.
Well, it's not just do anything, right? It's to do
It should do
energy
efficiency.
Yeah.
efficiency
Yep.
improvements, right?
Yep.
So
It can
that's
be applied to a whole new build, but you
Right.
have to show that you're, for example, making it LEED Gold certified instead of just building it for as cheap as possible.
And it's not taking away any options.
No,
Like I can still go to that bank if I wanted to.
no.
And try to, and fail if I, whatever, but okay.
And it really
Okay.
only applies to like bigger deals. Like
Yeah.
if you want to do a $100,000 renovation of the kitchen in your restaurant, it's not the finance vehicle for that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think the minimum is 500.
Oh,
Well, it depends on the lender. I'm
Right.
sorry, but they're larger money builds.
sure.
And that's why the restriction for multifamily housing, it had to be more than 5 apartments. Couldn't just be like a triplex or something.
Gotcha. Okay. That's making a lot more
Would-
sense.
Would UNH be eligible for this, or the fraternities, or Riverwoods?
I don't believe that nonprofits can take advantage
I
of
think
it.
nonprofits can, well, I thought I saw
Sorry, you're right.
I don't think-
Nonprofits municipalities can't.
Cannot.
I-
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the zoning of the frat houses because they might not be considered multifamily apartment dwellings because of all the shared spaces and stuff. For a C-PACER financing, that would be up to them, and I haven't read all the fine print. So, but I believe their tax exempt status might
Yeah.
not allow them to, because their
It's not a-
entire property is not assessed in the
I see.
same way.
Well, how about Riverwoods?
Riverwoods is-
Riverwoods would probably qualify, right? Oh, they have some kind of exemption, right?
And the
Well, they have-
dwelling units are, I mean, I don't know how the state defines dwelling units, but I think that Riverwoods would, so I don't know.
They also have some kind
Not
of,
a lawyer.
I haven't thought about a huge nonprofit like Riverwoods. I was thinking more of something being
Ways
built on-
meet, right.
Yeah.
And I just
Okay.
want to clarify, and it was said, and thank you, but for anybody that's listening, is first, the town is not involved in the approval process,
Yeah.
okay? Our obligations are really to verify an application that they paid their taxes, that there are no mechanics liens in excess of like $10,000. And then when the deal is finalized, the town is responsible for recording it at the county. So it's really very, they've structured it so it's no burden on the town. And if somebody defaults on the loan, the town does not get involved, and the town maintains its highest position for any taxes that are due. But it just doesn't have a lot of burden on the town.
Okay. Thank you guys all so much for clarifying. This
Yeah.
all sounds excellent to me.
Yeah, essentially,
now I'm on
since
board. Now I get it.
the town is doing some level of certification of the tax status of the property, it makes the loan more secure for a private lender than it normally
sound-
would be, and they can offer a lower rate because of that.
It sounds like we're just opening a door for like private, for,
Yeah, it's just
individuals
an
who have-
opportunity for better property taxes because through people improving.
Yeah, they want to do
their
big projects
buildings.
on their property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And committing the town to some extent to help with administration, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which
But I think
sounds like it's,
Todd's fine with that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who are we to question?
I have two questions. Okay.
And that's why it's back up for certification, because there was a lot of complaints the first time it went around, because the organization was asking towns to do much more than we're talking about here.
Got it.
So they like took it back to the drawing board, and the legal organization Jim mentioned like worked with an organization that sort of represents the private financial entities. They work together and they're like, how can we take on the burden of processing these semi-complicated loans and like reduce how much work the town has to do. And so this is the format they came out with. I think they worked on it for like 3 years.
Okay. And then my second question, who enforces the sustainable builds? So what, I guess, who is enforcing that aspect of the loan that?
Yeah, so each lender is really going to be the person who determines whether or not it fits what they want for their portfolio.
Got it.
So it's not really like the builder chooses the lender. The builder will have multiple lenders who may or may not give them a loan.
Got it.
So, you know, these are lenders who are private money who are specifically looking for projects that will deliver a consistent return, albeit low, and is also of a specific sustainable quality, because like that's what they market to the people who bank with them.
Got it. Cool. I'm on board.
So it sounds like the town's involvement is primarily two things. One, it would be reviewing a kind of application or submission and then collecting the payment through the tax mechanism. Is that right?
No,
No,
actually,
not even the payment
town-
part.
Not even the payment.
Not even the payment
Oh.
part. All the town does is really have to record the assessment.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And there's. I
And
think
verify that there's
couple things
no
beforehand.
red flags on the tax card and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, because, I mean, my fear was, with some recollection of the old program is, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to, collect this monthly,
Right.
submit payments to the lender, and then if they don't pay, we're gonna have to foreclose on it,
Right.
and we just.
God forbid, make
they-
Audrey like audit their like build quality process after, on top of all the other code enforcement work she needs to do or anything like that. Yeah.
So was that a main change in this revision? Is removing,
I don't remember the
removing the town from
specifics.
the collection part of it, or?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
just
Yeah.
know that it was really cumbersome.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I just remember hearing that there were some situations where towns had been previously left with some liability that they
Sure.
didn't expect. I don't know entities that like worked on this.
Can I ask one more?
yeah, go
thing?
ahead.
Sorry. So let's say I buy a house that
No.
like they're in the middle of.
This doesn't qualify.
Small house.
You started with the statement, I buy a house.
No.
It's commercial.
Oh, sorry, it's all commercial.
All commercial, and that's why for it to even be apply to a multi-unit build, it has to be a large multi-unit build that has at least 5 different dwellings within it.
Let's say I buy something like this then, and then it's in the middle of the loan. Is it pretty easy to like turn it over? Like, is it like legally?
Yeah, that's
in
the idea,
they
is
have
that
to be
it follows
notified?
the property. Like when
And,
you
like,
buy
hey, you gotta
it,
go to the county and
No,
sign
no.
the paperwork. Like, what's going on there?
so let's say you built a 10-person multifamily
Sure.
building, and you got a C-Pacer loan. And they gave you $1 million, and a few years go by, you've paid it down to $500,000 on the loan,
Sure.
and you go to sell the whole thing because its market value has risen, and it might be a $10 million sale. Throughout the sales process, that $500,000 owed has to be listed as one of the things going on in the property. So
Okay.
again, it's not technically a lien, but it will say there is C-PACER loan attached to this property. If you buy this property, you will have to pay this amount of a month to pay it off.
Okay.
And then you'll look at it and be like, oh my God, the APR rate's so low. This seems, I'll just add that to my mortgage, and if those numbers together make sense for me to buy it, then I'll buy it.
Okay. Pretty
So
smooth.
this makes
Cool.
that loan like impossible to hide as well.
Yeah, just wanted to see how easy is the transition there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, us certifying the property tax situation means that the loan can follow the property and not the human being developing it.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Or the LLC developing it even.
Yeah.
Which the lenders like.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're willing to offer lower rates. Exactly. Win-win-win,
Yeah.
except for the people doing.
The Energy Committee endorses the council's adoption of the C-PACER resolution.
Second.
All in favor, we'll start with Stephen.
Jim Lawson, aye.
Christopher Smith, aye.
Andrew Coppins, aye.
Theiston Carpenter, aye.
Matt Davis, aye.
Steve Holmgren, aye.
Harrison Potter, aye.
Also, passed. If at any point, this is especially true early on, if you feel like you can't really comment on something, but also throughout your time on the Energy Committee, it's not just aye or nay. You can always choose to abstain. I'm just not sure if that's been mentioned.
I appreciate it. I've done Robert's rules in the past, so but I appreciate it.
Okay, good. I just wrote person accountable. I meant Matt and myself. New Hampshire Energy Week. There was some stuff today. I did something for it on Monday, which I'll talk about when we get to Steve Holmgren later. You sent out, right? It was you, Matt, that sent out the list of events.
Oh, yes, that was for information.
Yeah, I just want to mention it to everyone. There's some solar stuff tomorrow. On Thursday, though, there seems to be there's like a tour of Flag Hill Winery and Distillery that I mentioned to Ellie. It's just around the way. They have solar in with their winery. If any of you guys are interested in the agrivoltaic side of things. Lee is doing a tour on Thursday as well of their library, which has solar like ours, but also has storage incorporated.
I attended the New England Heat Pump Accelerator webinar yesterday. There's a $450 million effort to increase the adoption of heat pumps throughout New England. New Hampshire is a participating state. They expect to be rolling out some incentives in the near future. I was interested in the community programs, thinking that we might be able to reinvent our Reheat Durham project that M. Friedrichs and Michael Klein and I worked on several years ago. Didn't sound like that was going to be likely. The community projects, the RFPs has not been issued. They're focusing on low and middle income communities, and I wasn't clear how a low and middle income community is defined by them.
It was defined by the federal government.
Well, those are census, so those are the census tracts, perhaps. And now the federal
It's
government
part
has,
of the census
well,
work,
they've
yeah.
and the DOE has taken down their disadvantaged communities website, and the EPA has taken down their environmental justice website. So,
Yeah.
is there any remaining authoritative designation of?
Yeah, I mean, LMI
I-
maps come up in solar a lot, and There's a number of universities that downloaded them all and
I
started
downloaded-
posting them on
I downloaded the
ArcGIS.
DAC stuff before it went away.
Yeah,
But I don't know what this entity, which is funded by EPA, is going to be. If they're designating them LMI, then they need to have a. So I don't know what that designation.
EPA follows federally designated.
Right, they had the
LMI
environmental justice
areas.
designations before.
No, but LMI areas are federally defined. Those maps
Okay,
exist.
so-
even the administration taking them down,
Doesn't make them go away.
no, and
Right.
it doesn't edit them. They can only be edited through an act of Congress as part of the census process.
So perhaps we should do some homework on LMI communities in the town of Durham, census tracts within the town that may be eligible for these community grants.
Yeah.
And then we'll wait for the RFP to come out.
Yeah, they can have a variety of resolutions depending on how the state interacted with the census. I'm not sure how New Hampshire did it. Like in New York State, LMI areas can be much smaller than the jurisdictions, and then I've seen some states do them in
Yeah.
bigger
So
blocks.
anyway, that's kind of one thing that came out of that webinar that we may want to follow up on
Yeah.
later.
That's interesting. So, yeah, that was really more hydro plant. And, you know, there's like bike rides and trivia stuff and, you know, some of you guys are just looking to interact with people. There's like legislative stuff and, yeah, there's a lot of stuff about solar.
Do you know if the webinar is recorded?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Clean Energy New Hampshire.
Okay.
yeah, Clean Energy New Hampshire, I think, is going to record all and store all of the webinars for all of the things happening with Energy Week. So if you missed something today or yesterday, it should be up over there. So, moving right along, CPCNH.
I was going to offer to present the slides just because there's a bunch of figures, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's see if this works as expected. See if this shows up. There we go. Okay. So Rachel helped me before the meeting get this working, so thank you. So I had a couple of questions about the effect of CPCNH's rates on participation. Are we having a lot of defections? Are we, what's the concern level in Durham? So I was able to pull up the statistics in a couple different ways. So this one is showing, people see this? Oops, that's too far. Basically the participation percentage and the participation numbers of accounts in Durham. So the orange line is participation percentage. The scale on the left, we vary between 60 and a high of maybe 75% of the total meters in Durham participate in CPCNH. That's actually fairly typical for the CPCNH communities. But Durham also has kind of a seasonal issue, which I tried to show here by tracking over more than 1 year. Because we have a turnover, every time you turn over, close your account, the account defaults back to Eversource for reasons that are known only to the utility monopolies, that they can't seem to adapt their systems to be able to record that the default in Durham is CPC&H now. So as you can see in the blue line showing the active accounts, over time, there is kind of an attrition off of the accounts that are in CPC&H, basically for at least one reason, just the turnover. So March of this year, there was what we call a refresh in CPC&H, where we get a list of all those people who've been just moved off because of turnover and move them back onto the CPC&H account list. So that's what the jump up on the blue line is in March. So we gained about 500 customers as a result of that refresh rate. So this is important when you think of CPC&H statewide. There's a lot of accounts that kind of, get siphoned away through attrition just because of this inability of the utilities to do sensible things. So anyway, so that's just a view of our participation rate. One can see that the rate is not showing any gigantic drops in percentage because of the rates, and I could show this in the next slide. This is a track of the opt-in and opt-out statistics that if you decide you want to opt out of the CPC&H program and go to a different supplier, that gets recorded in the CPC&H statistics. So you can see that when the rates change, or when the rates have changed, like August 1st in 2025, there was a new rate announced and the CPC&H rate was higher than Eversource. You saw a spike of people opting out, about 15, and likewise in February, March, there was a spike of about 60 people opting out. So to the question, has there been a reaction to the rates? Yes. Has it been a landslide? No. But there certainly are people who are sensitive to this and are aware of this and will take action. So it is a cause for concern, certainly, and we're watching this very carefully. All the communities in CPC&H are basically watching this kind of thing. And then I also wanted to show the financial measures. For those of you who have been following this, CPC&H has gone through some difficult seasons where we have had to draw down our reserves and extended financing because of positions taken in the power purchase market and because of weather events that were unexpected, the big cold winter and other issues. So the one way of looking at that, and I am not a finance person, so showing our financing balance. I'm sorry the numbers are not readable on this at this scale, but the bottom number here is 25 million at the lowest. So that's a $25 million financing balance, and that was because we had depleted our reserve. The green line is our accumulated reserve, so you can see here our reserves were negative. So this is the scenario where, oops, I've overspent and I'm using my credit card. So the financing line is the blue line, and with our current revenue stream and our pricing, our projections is that this will go up to essentially zero for the first time late this year. There will be a dip because of our seasonal issues with power in the spring, in the winter and spring, and then hopefully we'll be out of financing late in spring of 27. That's what that shows. The red line is a cash account, and so for those purposes, the cash account is zero until we get past getting rid of all the financing balance, and our reserve account is building up over this period of time along a target to get to where we want to be in the end of spring of '28. So that is having a reserve balance up here, which will be protecting us from, big unanticipated events like weather systems that nobody was predicting, so that we can use reserves to bail us out of those situations instead of going back into the financing scenario. So this is the trajectory that we're on. All the indicators are good. This is reality here. At this point is our current. No, I'm sorry. This is April. These are current numbers, and so the rest of these are projections, but they're meeting our models. So I just wanted to put that out there. So anybody have questions or comments? The power business is a crazy business. I learned from ISO New England. It is not an easy business to figure out.
I'm sorry if I missed it, but when you get the reserves to where you want it to be, the green line all the way on the right, what is that level of reserve?
It
like
this
30
is
million?
just about 30 million. Okay. And I think the goal there is, there's various things about the status of us as an organization. You can become kind of a self-funding power authority at that when you have enough reserve and enough, history here, so that then they're no longer quite as dependent on the other contracting and financial ties that we have with these other organizations. So we have this credit line from one of our partners, which is, where that credit account is coming from. Basically we'll have less need for that over time. That will save us money, obviously, and give us more power in the purchasing markets to get, better rates, things like that. So it's, that's the goal. Gets better and better as the financial picture improves.
Does the price that CPC and H pay for power track the supply cost or the market cost? So if fossil fuels are going up, driving up electricity prices, and CPC and H is getting a bunch of power from hydro and solar, is CPC and H insulated from the market?
Well, as much power as we can get through ISO New England that is hydro and or solar, we have to buy all of our power through ISO New England. So if it's available for us to buy, that's why we take out contracts, in advance. We have to hedge our purchases up to like 60% by such and such a date, like 4 months before the date. We have to have like 60% of our contracts closed and 80% closed by 2 months and things like that. So the closer you get to the actual date of when you're using the power, you have to have everything nailed down in contracts. So I would say,
Is Matthias going to be selling us power at the market rate or at the cost of production?
We are selling the PPA that we are selling of Eversource's electricity rate. So there's the supply rate and, oh my God, please get me off the screen. I'll just stare at myself. Thanks. There's supply and I think they call it energy or distribution rate, and those are the two main components, and then there's a few add-ons. So that's about 10 or 11 cents we're selling it at, and then what people see at the residential meters is about 23, 24 cents. So
Would you expect CPC&H to financially benefit, or its customers to benefit from a larger portfolio of renewable.
Yeah, they're getting
sources.
their power cheaper from us than they are buying their RECs on the open market and buying power on the open market. Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about, yeah, from the array we're finishing up, they're probably gonna end up paying 80 cents on the dollar. And then they'll probably take 10 of those cents. And so then the end user, members of CPCNH would be paying at 90 cents on the dollar,
Good.
given enough volume. Obviously, my little 5 megawatt isn't going to be able to account for all the ratepayers, which is why I'm trying to build a few more.
And to kind of maybe answer your question a little bit more, Matt, is that so because CPCNH is a transparent organization, all this data and stuff is available. Anybody can log on and get these minutes and things. So our pricing is rigorously based on our cost. So the contracts that we are managing, procuring power based on the anticipated loads, all this stuff, we price, set our price to cover our costs, plus we've had to add a little bit on to rebuild these reserves. So our pricing strategy is transparent. The utilities have been pricing in a way that we don't really understand, and they don't have to really disclose, but we think they're underpricing. We're calling it proxy pricing, and we think they're going to have under collections that they're going to have to come back and take care of. But we won't know that until the end of this rate period.
There was a big spike in prices last year.
Yeah,
That didn't make sense. And CPCNH, because they have to follow the market, got
Hammered.
Yeah, they got hammered.
Yeah.
And Eversource claimed they got hammered.
We have yet to see it.
CPCNH has to buy power ahead of time, but then there are near time energy markets. And especially during the summer and winter, those energy market prices can fluctuate wildly past the levelized energy prices that energy providers generally price things at.
So if there's no other questions on this.
Just one. So,
Yeah.
so it looks like the strategy here is get out of the financing, build reserves, and then pay for energy on a cash basis going forward effectively. Is there a scenario where you're building reserves to the level that you can get a financing interest rate that's advantageous relative to like an investment strategy, for example, in the reserves, right? So instead of paying, so dipping back into financing, but you're making more money on the investment on the reserves or something like that. I mean, is that in the future for CPS?
I think all those kind of options are open as we get positioned.
Sure, you got to get out of where you are
They
now.
get to
and-
make choices.
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
point.
And there's something else called, I don't know, I can't remember the terminology, but it's like we become an equal player with the other players in terms of a load-serving entity. I think that's the term I'm
Right,
looking
right.
for. And to be a load-serving entity, you have to have a certain amount of reserves, a certain amount of a track record, a certain amount of rating financially.
Yeah.
And that's part of what the goal is there with the reserves. Once we become a load-serving entity, then we can buy the power contracts directly rather than through our partner.
Right.
We have a contractor partner that does that right now. So,
Right.
so we basically have several contractors we're dependent on right now. And of course, we're paying those.
Yeah.
And eventually, more of that becomes internal. So,
So you're paying the third party and the interest on the financing. Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, it's a startup, so we had
sure.
we had to contract a lot of stuff out
Absolutely.
to get started. As we go along, we're going to, bring more of that in-house,
Yeah.
but it takes time.
Yeah.
So.
Once they get past the cash reserve level, for example, they can make dividend decisions. They can do financing style things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
They can also choose to directly financially invest in
Correct.
renewable development and
Which helps.
therefore see an even lower PPA price because my company has to get financial hit that the market might create.
Oh, so you gotta, yeah, that's the track. that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about.
Essentially what it does is prove that like if something crazy happens like that last dip,
We're good.
that
Yeah.
they don't go in the red.
Yeah,
Right, it's like you have a 60 or 120-day reserve.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Any new updates from UNH on student stuff?
That is correct. There's nothing to add that's not in the April minutes. So
Yep.
yeah, no new developments.
Makes sense. It's seasonal.
All quiet in the Western.
Summer's coming.
Well, not quiet, but, yeah. Anything but.
Not tonight.
EV charger report. I'm still locked out of the system. I haven't found the time to figure that out. I already had a ChargePoint account, and then when I used the link the town provided me to get the town's, it just logged me into my personal account.
I saw Jack Landerman recently, who was the guy who was, so if you need to reach out to him, would he have any accounts or passwords that you would need?
I think it was a Gail Jablonski thing,
Oh, it was a Gale, okay.
but
I know somebody who might have access, so I'll
yeah,
chase that down.
yeah, you might know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
We don't want to get to it.
And so then the last thing is Durham Day. I have the old stuff. There's a lot of material.
Are these like the sandwich board things?
Yeah, it's everything I had from 2 Durham days ago, I think. So we've got a very old greenhouse gas emissions diagram.
And out-of-date EVs available.
So just so you know, the posters there, I did the graphics and had them made for us. So if you have ideas and you want to come up with new posters, then you just need to give me enough time to, to do the graphics and sometimes import them and, so they're vector graphics and things like that. But, I can do any of those that you might be interested in.
Right, I recalled that from the last meeting. So I'm not sure any of them or you have seen everything that we've done. And I personally don't know what we think we want to redo.
Right, maybe we'll do a quick sort
Yeah,
of things that are good to go as is, things that need modification, and things that we're not going to do.
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
So we have a new logo. So,
Yes.
But I don't know if we want to totally redo a poster just because of the logo.
No.
We might just sticker. Yeah,
Could we do a sticker?
That was,
That's
that
a
was,
good one?
that was good.
Keeper?
It's a
I think that's a good one.
pretty much.
This one probably needs to be redone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The numbers are different.
There's no tax credits anymore.
Tax credits are messed up, so
Or do
It's all
we,
gone.
maybe we don't do this
we
one.
don't do
Yeah.
EVs? Yeah.
I would think,
I think delete this one.
yeah.
I think there might be another EV one in here too.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry.
Oh, you can't see
Malcolm.
What?
This is Malcolm from the Ether.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'll need to leave the meeting. I need to talk to my daughter who lives in Seattle at 8:45, so I need to leave the meeting now, I'm afraid.
Noted. That's okay. We're not going to vote on anything.
Okay, thank you. Night, everybody.
This could be updated to agrivoltaics.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think that one
Pastoral
we
soil.
could use and also get more up-to-date years on that one.
So keep it modified. So we're,
So the environmental benefits and the graph would need to be updated, but I think that one's good.
What needs to be updated?
Well, this goes
The
back to
solar graph
20
is from like 22, and the amount of carbon offset is much lower than it is now.
Oh, really?
Well, it's a total number, not a yearly number.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's a cumulative.
Ah, oh, I see.
Pool car.
I don't think we need that one.
No, I think that's hard to process.
Solar in your future. It's a keeper.
The
I mean, we
tax,
have to get rid of it, we have to edit it.
tax credit's different, right?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Which is-
Yeah, that's municipal. I guess that's supposed to be
This is for
home.
itself.
Yeah.
Residential solar.
I don't know. You guys think we need that one?
I mean, that's showing the advantages, right? The other one is just showing a case study, right?
Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of the
This is a lot of
advantages
tax
are
credit. There's a lot of
gone.
tax credit
Yeah.
out there.
A lot of those don't apply. So
It doesn't-
Yeah. I personally think we get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Community power. Update.
You probably want to update this, right?
Public community power. I'm not, just in
Probably.
terms of a placeholder.
Yeah,
We have to have some solar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we should
I
probably.
mean, does residential solar still make sense even without the tax credits? We want to.
Yeah, it still pencils. The ROI is just
So maybe we
longer.
want to pencil this so that.
I think modifying that one makes more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
that sounds good.
ED. Yeah.
Yeah, redoing that one.
The other one was about specific models and
yeah.
Yeah.
incentives.
That's the more generic, yeah, showing the comparisons. That's just another case study. I don't
It's
know.
a case.
I don't know if we need more of those or not.
I think if we're doing a general residential solar one,
That's
Unless we
my,
had multiple case studies.
Yeah.
I mean, that might, so if there was actual homes in town,
Yeah.
That's my house before and after.
Oh, very
That's
Is it really?
oh, would you be able to update that one?
with what?
with
Modern years?
costs and.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I could show, I mean, I could update the production numbers and things like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
people will
yeah.
just notice that it says like 2022 and, you know.
Here's the CPC&H, more specific than.
The coalition map needs to be updated. You
Yeah.
guys have a lot more people in
Oh,
it.
that's a, yeah, completely different
These-
map, but,
Different eras. I
yeah.
think this may be older,
Yeah, that one is kind of almost,
outdated.
almost before we were even joined.
So maybe just focus on CPC&H.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of that one and see if I can come up
What
with
about,
with
should we do something with like heat pumps? Just because
We're not done yet, buddy.
Okay. Sorry.
Hiding the heat pumps back.
The heat pumps one is hiding.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I know that there's been talk of that, and that's kind of like, at least it's kind of
professionally
newer. I think.
Yeah, we
Solar
did.
was-
We did
More a middle
a
school.
we did a
Yeah.
reheat Durham thing for a while, trying to encourage people to do heat pumps. So a former member did this, which was all about like the cost breakdown and everything.
For heat pumps, yeah.
That's
cool.
That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot.
That person
I mean,
must
we-
love their heat pump.
Em is prolific and a very good town council member.
At our, I mean, we have a heat pump, water heater, heat pump, dryer, heat pump. All of our HVAC is heat pump. I mean, we just profile that, you know, that
Case
stuff.
study.
That would be
Case study.
awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah, builds are relatively new. So.
And then you can send your images to Jim.
Yeah.
That how we're doing it? Cool. So then, which one is that?
That'd be nice, yeah. Because it seems to be kind of like, like a newer thing anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's, I think there
So
are.
we can update this one with the new climate action plan. I don't know if they've actually done another study on greenhouse gas emissions themselves since 2022. No, she said they ran it, right? I can take on the town emissions one, and that one we have to replace with the new logo. Oh no, that's community power.
That's community power.
It's green.
So that one's good.
That one's good.
Okay, so you have heat pumps. do you want to do both your home solar and the CPCNH one, or do you?
Yeah, I can update those.
Okay.
I don't know, so Jim, do you have any of the original files or anything, or any ideas?
What I'll do is I'll send PDFs of what I have.
Okay.
I think there are a few updates in there. Unfortunately, it was 4 or 5 years ago, so.
Yeah,
But I have the files, so
okay. I
I'll
mean,
distribute those. And
if it's something that I can go in and edit and then ship back, or I don't know how those were generated, so.
I'm embarrassed to tell you how I did them, but I think if you have PowerPoint, you're all set. They're just scaled with vector graphics.
Okay.
Okay, so, I have to be on the record so I don't get yelled at by the eye in the sky. We have the general EV one, the general residential solar one, and then, along with the town greenhouse gas, posters, the updates on the municipal rooftop, and this one. So I can work on getting the numbers for these two municipally sponsored arrays plus the town greenhouse gases. And that leaves us with a general informative on residential rooftop and a general informative on EVs. Unless one of you guys wants to take a crack at something.
General EVs, I think
Yeah, this one.
would probably be better for me.
Cool.
Because I don't have a house with solar panels, so I don't know as much.
Yep. That's fine.
But
If you want to work off of it, you can take it home. Anyone can take any of these home. Otherwise, they'll just go back in my box.
That's a good idea.
Cool. You can take a picture.
Steve, did we do that one?
It looks familiar.
Yeah. So
You'd be
probably
the
have a
guy.
file I can send you.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, the statistics are probably from like an EPA site or something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use CO2 equivalents per mile and US dollars per month. Yeah, that looks like EPA.
Current gas prices should help the.
Well, now the EV math looks insane with gas prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like add together the lower overall maintenance and higher gas prices. Yeah, looks pretty good. Also, currently the depreciation on used EVs is really advantageous. They're currently kind of undervalued in the used car market.
Yeah.
I know someone who just bought a used Bolt for like $5,500.
Really?
Yeah, it was a first gen, but it had the redone battery and everything.
Cool. I had one of those. Those were good.
My stepmother has the CUV version. She loves it. So thanks, Jim, for sending out what files you can dig up.
Okay.
If anyone wants to get involved with posters, or if anyone has any ideas for additional imagery to use for Durham Day, please feel free to send it out. Just as a point of order, if you're sending out images or anything like that to the general group, we don't want to start a back and forth discussion about the images or the quality of it. So it's largely to be informative, and if someone says something and you have comments on it, we probably want to talk about that in an open forum, or if necessary, if enough stuff comes up and enough stuff happens, we'll make a subcommittee group to talk about it.
Do we have the file from Robin, like the CDG file for the new logo? I was gonna say, I mean, it's pretty inexpensive to put together like vinyl stickers or something like that.
Yeah, I
to
believe
hand
he
out.
said. I, of course, have a lot of things going on in my life. So if in the next couple weeks you guys are looking for any information or updates from me on something, please feel free to pester me and remind me. I might need it. Does anyone have anything else? Overall?
I just have a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Yeah, right.
Great. All in favor? I'm not going to roll call it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.